Okay, today I'm going to be reading through lesson 1 and writing out the new words that are there and sort of practice reading them and get used to typing them and so on. So, the first word that I'm going to be writing is a very common word, and it's this. Now, when you read this in Korean, this says 안녕, which simply means a few things, but basically well-being, peace, or health. So it's part of a greeting, but 안녕 as itself just means to be good, to be healthy, to be happy. The second part of our word is going to be this. If I can find it on the keyboard, which is not that. That's correct, I think, which is 안녕하세요. So 하세요 means you do, or do you, or please do. So when you say 안녕하세요, you're literally saying peace or health, please have it. Which is hello. So that's how you say hello in Korean, 안녕하세요, because it's well-being plus do you have this? So you're asking somebody, do you have well-being? And it can be used in many different ways. You can say it as a question, you can say it as a statement. It's kind of used interchangeably as all those other things. Now, something that is important to remember, annoyingly, because we don't have it in English, is not that, because that's not correct, is this, which is I've lost the character. Where is it? There we go. This is called an honorific, which in Korean is said as 존댓말, which means it's the polite form of speaking to someone. Since in Korean, if you're young and you're speaking to somebody who's older than you, you have to use a polite form of speech. Or if you're speaking to somebody that's in a higher position of authority, like your boss or a policeman or a doctor, something like that, you use the polite form. So if you have at the end of a word the characters yo or nida, which is written like this, then you know it's a 존댓말 word. So 안녕하세요, you know it's polite because it has yo at the end. And if another word you're saying or a phrase you're saying has nida at the end, you also know that you're using the polite form. So if you can see these two, then you know you're being polite. And as the book says, it's better to learn the polite form because you're not going to offend anybody if you're too polite. But if you use the impolite form, then you have to make sure that you're using it to people that are of a lower status or age. So 존댓말 is the form that we're going to learn the most, and then the other form, which I'm going to write now, we will also learn. The other form is, if I can write it here, God, it's hard to find these characters. Which is that. Where is the, there it is. So this is 반말. And 반말, so the 반말 version of 안녕하세요 would just be 안녕. It's a very casual, it's what you say to a friend or to a kid or someone younger than you. So just 안녕 is like hi. 안녕하세요 is a more polite hello. So the 존댓말 is what we'll be doing the most because it's just better to learn the polite form of things. So, in Korean, of course, as in English, kind of, you can say 안녕하세요, and that can mean hello, that can mean hi, but it also has a slightly deeper meaning in the sense that it can mean, like in English, you could say, how's it going, or what's up, or, you know, just a sort of general greeting, and you're not expecting a response from them. When you say, how's it going, you don't expect the other person to actually describe how their life is going. It's just a sort of accepted greeting. So, 안녕하세요, or 안녕, is used in the same way. So, the next part, I have to try and write out again, which is going to be this. There we go. Now, before I said this character, this kind of like funny 7, seems to slip between G and K in terms of its sound. And when people say it quickly, you kind of can't tell the difference. I find it easier to do the sort of softer sound, so this would be like 감사, which literally means appreciation. There we go. Well, if I can type at all. It means to be, to be thankful for something, you know, so to give thanks effectively. So if you have 감사 or 감사, that means thanks, and you attach that to, not that because that's English, this set of characters here. So if you attach that to 합니다, so as I said before, the nida means that it's a 존댓말 form, so it's the polite form. So you can say 감사합니다. You say it quickly, it kind of merges together, and it's the polite way of saying thank you. If you just say 감사 or 감사, I think that's a sort of 반말 way of saying thank you. I've never done it like that, so maybe not. But 감사합니다 is just like thank you very much. You know, you're showing you're saying, oh yeah, the 합니다 means I do or I am doing. So you're literally saying thankfulness I am doing. So you're saying I have thankfulness. Therefore, you're just saying thank you. Thank you for what you've done. And that's it, I suppose. So it's just remembering that the 존댓말 form is the best form to use because you're not going to insult anybody. And as long as it has yo or nida at the end of it, then you know it's polite. And it seems that most words have these endings because when you learn the language, it's always written in a more polite form. So the 반말 form you can still use, but only between very close friends or when you're talking down to somebody. So yeah, 안녕 meaning peace or health, 하세요 meaning do you have it? So do you have peace? Do you have health? That means hello. 감사 meaning thankfulness or thanks, and 합니다 meaning I am doing, so you're saying I have thanks. So the most important thing to remember out of this entire very short chapter are these two. Just remembering that the 존댓말 form has yo and nida, and that the 반말 form doesn't have those. So in the next video, I'll be talking about how to say yes and no in different ways and so on. Anyway.